Hey Steve, I'm making this video for you. A lot of what I grew, I didn't know, as I'm sure you can remember. So I'm breaking down my garden because I had to move some really high producing chilies into, I'm checking my chilies while I'm talking to you. And I had some chilies left in here. I want to see if they could just make it. This is the leftover soil, and I didn't want to use it because, first of all, I know it's depleted from the hails. So I made a pile because I was considering that when this all goes south for the winter, which God only knows, that I would use this pile to maybe perhaps make my own compost. Steve, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if you remember this from my videos before, but I had bought a whole bag of mulch and it trashed my garden, never knowing that I could have just used straw. So the materials I have left over, I'm starting the grow room, I'm sanitizing, you're all caught up. What I want to do, what I think I'm going to do, is build a hotel for the dogs here so they can go potty because I have a little puppy. And then over here, I was thinking about putting food scraps. But I was watching your video and you were like turning it. Well, I know there's a Starbucks down the road. That's number one. Number two, I got earthworms down there, but they're hitting clay. That's something I learned this year. I'm doing a raised bed next year. Never again with the clay. So next year's going to be totally different, but how do I survive the winter? Colorado's not that bad, though the Farmer's Almanac does say it's going to be pretty rough. I could be all wrong. I guess a lot of my questions pertain to if you've never composted. Me, myself, and I, who have never really fully understood what compost is anyway. I just added it to my Canadian soil and it got me through the season. And keeping in mind, Steve, that I went through 11 hailstorms and that soil went through everything. And you know that. So this year, this winter, I want to stay active because I gained 5 pounds. I want to be busy in my grow room and I want to add my food cuttings, which a lot of them I eat, because my food cuttings I use in veganism and I sprout them, right? So at some point though, I have to move the rest of the food cuttings like the ends of tomatoes and stuff like that when I'm not dehydrating and put that somewhere in the house and then dump it out there. And then I thought you just turned it. That's what my husband said. But now that I look at that old soil area and know I'm never going to use that soil again, maybe next year, and I can make it richer, maybe that's a potential good thing. I know there's a lot of root systems in there. I've tried breaking it up with a shovel. So basic 101 composting. And well, it's hard for me to focus because I have so much going on. I have veganism, dehydrating, non-GMO, activism, grow room, and new puppy. So it's important to me to do things differently over the winter, start things earlier, sprout, because I'm eating sprouts, and get my grow room going and space it out and schedule it and grid it this year, next year. And to also have great protective beds, considering that I hit that clay and didn't realize it. And my roots just couldn't get through it. So there's my soil pile. There's the rest of my flowers, which I don't even know what they're still doing there, but they're there. And the chili pepper plants are gonna take, I'm not gonna sanitize all those. I got 2 of them upstairs and they're doing great. So with all that in mind, you're usually able to cut through all the BS and get me to a place I need to be, and that's where I need to be. I need to do basic 101 soil enrichment so I don't have to buy it next year as much, or maybe I'll fail the whole thing. Who knows, Steve? Who knows with me? So that's my question. You have a big pile of leftover soil, totally depleted, no snow's coming, and it's near nothing like Canada. And what can I do through the winter to prepare for my garden in the spring, and also my grow room's beginning? So all that's coming into mind, and I want to have a careful plan. I watched the video, but you use words that I don't know. So maybe you can simplify for me or answer the questions. Or maybe I have too many questions. Anyway, Steve, I'm really glad that you added questions into your videos. It helps me a lot and it helps me understand things. But there's still languages that I don't understand, like vermi compost, like worms and stuff. It's just tough for me. Like, I don't get all of that because I bought my stuff. I have a little bit of compost left, about a third of a bag. And I also was told by my really good friend who runs the Organic Garden local store that it's all, no matter how much we amend the soil, it's really lax here because of the clay. So next year, better plan. Try to do compost through the winter. And when do you start, or do you layer it? Do you put it in a container? How do you do it? I don't have grass clippings because of the pesticides, and I can't use the leaves because of the pesticides. So what can I do? And is there potential here? Do you have a composting 101 shorter version that I can understand? Thank you, Steve. I love you. I love Alberta Urban Garden, and my husband will be traveling to Alaska, going through Canada. So I'll have him toot the horn for you. Thanks.